Chase behind the camera with NC Beer Guys. Welcome to another episode of NC Beer Buzz. 3 years ago, when we were first getting started, we found our way to Holly Springs, and the great folks at Carolina Brewing Company were happy enough to see us and pleased to let us in. And we interviewed Mark about what was going on here, and we're so pleased to be back here to partially celebrate our 20th anniversary. Our 20th anniversary.
Your 20th anniversary?
Your 20th anniversary, and our 3rd anniversary. And CBC is one of the grandfathers in the North Carolina craft beer scene. We're so happy to be back here with Joe Zonin, one of the founders, crafters, original NC craft beer guys in North Carolina, and right here in Holly Springs. There are big things happening at CBC. We want to hear all about it.
Great.
Congratulations on 20.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Glad to have you back out.
Could you ever have imagined?
I don't know if we could have ever imagined. I think it's probably my, when looking out in 1995, I don't think I had a window out 20 years. I think honestly we had plans for 5 years or 10 years down the road, but 20 years just seemed like way too far in the future to plan for at the time.
Because at that time, I mean, the landscape was so different that our viewers
completely different.
Don't really know. I mean, our 20-something viewers don't even know what it was like, the craft beer scene.
One of my favorite stories to tell about the craft beer scene in 1995 that really resonates with a lot of people is, in 1995, in Raleigh, or basically the whole Triangle area, there were 2 bars tied with the most number of taps and draft beers that they offered. And they both had 9.
Okay, so that was a max tap.
That was a max taps allowed that were available in the Triangle.
And you were like 3, 4, 5 in the state? What number?
We're 6. 6. We're number 6 in the state.
Okay.
Yes.
And are all 6 of those still operating? Probably not.
Not.
Right.
Not. So, I think most of them are, but I think there's at least one that isn't.
So you might be the 5th oldest brewery in the state?
Correct.
And that's saying something, you know.
It's saying a lot, I think.
You've seen so many changes.
We have. I mean, just talking about the taps, that's one thing that I think is glaring. Now places don't open up with less than 15, 20 taps a lot of places. So I think that has changed significantly. Certainly the number of local breweries, of course, we don't need to talk about that. You guys have seen it as much as we have, probably even more with your travels.
Yeah.
But, tons of local breweries that have opened up too. And it's come in kind of fits and starts too. It didn't all happen right in 1995. There was actually a pretty big lull between 1995 and say 2005, I think, a good 10 years, where there were very few breweries opening up. And then a couple of things happened that made more and more breweries open up.
Because you had some of the legislation had just changed, right, in the early 90s to even allow you to do what you were doing.
Correct.
Julie and others had come along in the late 80s and really started breaking some molds.
Yes. Yep. We did a lot.
Right. And then other guys who, like you, were just getting started and trying to fit what you wanted to do within the allowable limits of the legislation.
Right.
So the landscape had to change.
Absolutely.
You predated the local movement, buy local, because nobody really knew what buy local meant in those days.
I think it was a lot less commonly known. Yeah, absolutely.
And you were buy local by default.
We were.
Because you were it.
We were. For a number of years, we were the only brewery in Wake County. For a good 2 or 3 years, we were the only brewery in Wake County. Now Wake County has 23 or something like that.
Depending on how you count, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Or what day it might be.
Exactly.
So we're heading up to July.
We are.
And it'll be your 20th anniversary.
Absolutely.
The first beer went out. Some of us know the story.
So we mark our anniversary not by when we incorporated or by when the equipment rolled in. We mark our anniversary by the day we sold our first beer. So we had brewed it before that. We had all equipment in before the anniversary date. So we were actually in this facility in 1994, brewing in early 1995. But how we mark it is by the first keg sold. And that was July 3rd of 1995. And that was a keg of Carolina Pale Ale. And it went to 42nd Street Oyster Bar in downtown Raleigh.
And that beer is still one of your flagships.
That's still our best-selling beer. The Carolina Pale Ale is, absolutely.
42nd Street is still one of the most renowned locations around to drink beer.
It's a fantastic beer location. It's 100% North Carolina beer.
That's right.
And they have been for about 2 or 3 years now, 100% on draft, excuse me.
Right.
Draft is 100% North Carolina. And the Carolina Pale Ale has been there since July 3rd, 1995. It has never been off the list since then.
Oh, that's incredible.
It's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful story.
So
a small side story. Our second account was Darrell's on Hillsborough Street.
Oh, that didn't last.
Which is no longer there.
That's a different story altogether.
We're very happy that that 42nd Street was the first one.
But that must have been a good account for a few years. It
was a fantastic account. And then we just grew from there. We've got plenty of accounts on Hillsborough Street, other great accounts all around the Triangle area.
And for the record, CBC didn't ruin Darrell's. Darrell's had his own internal issues. He had his own issues. So we won't go back to old time Hillsborough.
No.
That's great. So we're having a party next week to celebrate.
We're having a party every year on July 3rd. We go back to 42nd Street Oyster Bar to celebrate the tapping of the first keg. We'll have multiple beers on tap. We have brewed 2 beers specifically for the anniversary this year. Our Imperial IPA, a 9.1% big, strong IPA that we've actually made probably the last 4 or 5 years for the brewery's anniversary. And then because it's the 20th anniversary, we brewed a second anniversary beer, and that is our Belgian IPA,
which we just had great samples.
We're trying right now.
We just had great samples of.
Yeah, it's a
very
nice fruity IPA. It's got a lot of nice esters in it. You get that classic, very slight banana clove flavor in the background. It's a tasty beer.
But you guys know I love a Belgian. This is right down the path. It's very good. So compare where we started production-wise with where we are now, and then we're going to talk about some changes that are yet to come.
Right. So production has increased dramatically every year. Well, not every year, but several times over the last couple of years. We brought in new tanks. We've increased our production. We started bottling. We started out draft only. So another thing that was different about our start versus how breweries start today is you talk about Carolina Pale Ale being the beer. We made 1 beer only for 6 months.
Okay.
We made nothing but Carolina Pale Ale in kegs for the first 6 months we were opened up.
Okay.
And then after that, we felt comfortable. We felt our customers were acclimated or had known about us, that we then moved into the Nut Brown Ale. And again, we did that, just that in the Pale Ale for 6 months after that. So even at our first anniversary, we only had 2 beers, Pale Ale, Nut Brown Ale, and they were in kegs only.
But in those days, you could get away with some of that.
Yeah, I think it was good for the brewery. I think it was good for us to learn our equipment. I think it's good for us to learn our customers, our craft. And I'm proud of that we kept it very focused for the first year. Of course, since then, we've expanded. We've added on our bottling line. We've started canning recently. We've added on other styles of beer recently. We've added tanks probably 8 or 10 times over the last 20 years.
And what's the capacity now? What do you hope for, like this year or last year?
Somewhere in the 4,000 to 5,000 barrel range.
Okay.
Yep. Probably be about 4,000 this year, hopefully about 5,000 next year. So we've kept it small. We also kept our distribution small.
Yeah, for many years we knew Carolina Brewing as mostly up and down the central part of the state.
Right.
Maybe from Virginia to South Carolina.
The Triangle area, down through Fayetteville and Southern Pines, and then added on Wilmington as well. So we've never been west of the Triangle until this year. Just this year, early this year, we had on the Triads, we had on Greensboro and Winston Salem, and hopefully we're at on Charlotte and the Mountain sometime within the next 6 to 18 months.
So in 2 years, we should be a statewide beer?
We should be. We should be. And again, a lot different than the way a lot of other breweries start that go statewide immediately or in 4 or 5 states off the bat.
But many models can work.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Absolutely. People come out here all the time and asking about, what does it take to start a brewery? I say you can start a brewery with $100,000 or you can start a brewery with $2 million.
Sure.
It's a lot like a restaurant. You can go high end, you can go low end, you can go someplace in between, and there's a lot of ways to make it work in different models.
And both can fail.
Yeah.
The $2 million guys don't necessarily buy success.
Absolutely.
I mean, they can do some things that you couldn't do right out of the box.
Right.
But that doesn't mean they're going to be any more successful.
We've seen some $2 million breweries come and go in our time.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what are we doing in the next year or so? How are we celebrating the 20th? What's the changes? You're doing some new branding for one thing.
So we're doing some new branding. We've got a new look to the line. This line right here has been our line since 1995. This is a hand-drawn line by an art student at NC State, and it's been our line for the last 19 plus years. And we're going to be upgrading that this year to our new look, which in a minute or two I'll walk away and grab something.
Okay.
And so you guys can show the folks what the new line will look like. So it's just an updated version of our line. So that'll be coming out in all the new packaging over the next probably month or two.
And we're still going to bottle?
We're still going to bottle, absolutely.
We're not getting no total away.
No. The kegs actually is kind of a specialty thing. We only did a one-time run of the kegs. We're probably doing more one-time runs of it, but it was a mobile canning line that come out. So we didn't buy a canning line. We can't do it on a regular basis just yet. We're still relying on the mobile canning lines coming out, but the Carolina Pale Ale will be available more often in cans.
And in addition to the branding, you're doing some things on site that's different. For many years, this wasn't, you kind of didn't hit the wave of a place to come drink your own beer.
Right.
So we had a little cubby up front, which was comfortable and cozy for some of us, but 6 or 8 people kind of filled it up.
Exactly.
We're doing some things different.
We have. We've changed that. We've opened up our front room. We've moved the office over to our new space. We took over about 2,000 more square feet more of space. So we moved our offices over to our new space of our facility, and we've added a tap room. It's still under construction right now, which you saw when you walked through earlier, but a nice big long bar in it, doors that open up to the outside. So have a little small patio area outside, and we'll be open probably 3 nights a week to start with, and then we'll increase it from there as we see need. Food trucks and all that kind of stuff. again, going back to 1995, nobody did tap rooms in
Well, who would have
1995.
thought? You were a production facility.
We're a production facility in the middle of a warehouse in Holly Springs.
And you thought you had to have accounts to retail your beer.
Right, exactly. So Holly Springs back in 1995 had 900 people in it. Holly Springs today has 26,000
your
people
home
in
is
it.
really, your home base has really
It's changed a lot. So and I think there's more of a willingness for people to go out and explore for their beer. As you can see, we're in kind of a big warehouse here. We're in a bit of an industrial part of the town. So for a long time, we didn't think people would venture out to go find a brewery. But if we've seen over the last 5 or 10 years,
some days they did. They used to didn't do that.
Right.
But the whole community is different now.
and it's outstanding. So people seek us out. They come out here looking for beers. Actually, over the last year or so, we have people come out here regularly on Thursday and Fridays expecting us to have a tap room to offer them beers. So we're happy to be able to provide that for them. It's going to be a beautiful location, nice spot, and it should be open probably about the end of July.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
20 great years. We wish you 20 more.
Oh, well, thanks. You know, we've been supported a lot by not only our customers that drink our beer, but the whole community that's grown up around the small and craft breweries here in North Carolina, like you guys doing what you do, has been amazing. I mean, it's such a great resource for customers to be able to find the beers that they want and be able to put brewers in touch with their customers and spread the word about what they do.
Well, we're glad to hear you say that, and we appreciate the comments, but you're exactly right. We're all in this together.
We are.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks. Until next time, this is David Benton, NC Beer Guys. I remind you to drink local and keep your beer dollars, in this case, in Holly Springs, at the Carolina Brewing Company. Congratulations on 20 great years.